Hi, and welcome back to my video series, A Coach's View of. And today I'm going to be talking about a subject which I know gets an awful lot of people tripped up, and that subject is procrastination. So, this is a coach's view of procrastination because there are a million and one strategies out there for dealing with procrastination. I'm sure we've all heard about the eat the frog technique, and strategies may or may not work for you. They may work some of the time, they may not work all of the time, but you can find plenty of books and audios out there to give you strategies. I'm going to do it slightly differently. So, from a coach's viewpoint, or from my viewpoint, let's say, not every coach, I'm sure, has the same viewpoint as me, but from my perspective, procrastination is essentially thinking about doing something instead of actually doing it. And if you've watched my previous videos about thought, you'll know that we can get really, really caught up in believing our thoughts are true. And the procrastination thought is a particularly unhelpful one. So what often happens is we've got a task to do, and I'm going to call it, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to call it the thing. We've got the thing that we're supposed to do, and we haven't done it for whatever reason. So it becomes a bigger thing. And then we attach this label of procrastination to it. And essentially, we get so caught up in the thinking about the thing, and we spend so much mental energy on the thing that we haven't actually got the energy to do the thing, or the motivation, or the drive, or the will, or whatever you want to call it. So before I go on to my views on this, I just want to share one thing which I've seen not to be helpful. And that is, an awful lot of people will label themselves as a procrastinator. They will say, oh, well, I couldn't possibly do that because I am a procrastinator. And oh, well, yes, well, I didn't do that thing because I am a procrastinator. And they wear that label as almost a badge of honor or a get out of jail free card and a reason for not doing the thing or possibly anything. Now, that's really not useful. If you've seen me talk before about the creative power of language, and particularly I am statements, you'll know that we can attach these labels to ourselves, which may describe us in a temporary capacity, but we tend to wear them permanently, and then it fixes that state. So if I say to myself, I'm a procrastinator, it essentially can stop me doing anything particularly useful. Whereas if I say, "Would you know what? I'm a human being. I procrastinate from time to time. It's just something that happens to all of us," then that opens up some more possibilities for ways of dealing with it. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. So obviously, as a coach, my job is to ask questions. So the way that I view procrastination, and I apply this to myself as well, because yes, I procrastinate as well, is that if I'm spending time thinking about the thing rather than actually doing the thing, then I may as well use that thinking time to dive a little bit deeper into what it is that's stopping me doing it. So I will ask myself some questions. Now, as with all the questions that we use to question our thoughts, whether that be about a specific thing or anything in general, questioning should be done with curiosity, but kindness. So questioning yourself about procrastination isn't to be used as another stick to beat yourself with. So the question you will not want to ask yourself is, oh my God, why am I doing this thing again? Why am I procrastinating? Oh, this is terrible, and I've done this before. And that sort of questioning, not really helpful. So questioning with curiosity and kindness might be, what is it that's stopping me from doing the thing? What is it that's making me feel stuck? And there's a few things that might come up for you, and I'm going to cover a few of them. This is not an exhaustive list. If you genuinely ask yourself that question, what is it that's got me stuck here? Then you may come up with something completely different that isn't on my list. But there's a few that are sort of common themes. So the first one is that I'm missing a key piece of information that is holding me back. Now, I'm a great fan of done is better than perfect, which is why, I've gone ahead and done these videos, even though I don't have fancy equipment or anything like that, because done is better than perfect. I can put it out there, I can get better. But sometimes if we're procrastinating about doing the thing, it is because there's just a key piece of information that we haven't got. And that is really holding us back, and that is blocking us from from following our instinct. You know, our instincts are built into us to stop us doing things that don't serve us. So if you're procrastinating about doing something and then you find that you're missing this key piece of information, which is quite fundamental to it, then it's probably better that you don't do it. So sometimes trusting our instincts is a really important thing to do. The other thing that might be missing is a skill. So it may be that we're not doing the thing because either we're not very good at it, or we don't know how to do it at all, or we know that we're again missing something. And so here, if we identify that that's the problem, then that opens up some options for us. So if it's a skill that we're not very good at, we can either look at maybe some training to make us better at it. We can maybe outsource that thing completely because there may be people out there who are better at it than us. And if we've got the means to be able to pay them to do it, then that may be an option. If we've identified that it's because I'm not very good at it, sometimes it may be just a case of, well, the only way to get better at it is to do it more. So, okay, I acknowledge I'm not very good at it, but I'm going to keep going. So in this occasion, it may be that the procrastination isn't really procrastination, but it's a resistance to asking for help, because that's something as well. If we've identified that we're not very good at something, or we could really do with getting somebody else to help us with it, sometimes there is a resistance to that. We think, particularly if we've got our own businesses, maybe that we should suddenly know all this stuff. I mean, I got a qualification in coaching. It didn't give me a qualification in running a business. So there's things that I've had to learn over time, and I've had to ask for help with those things. And there is sometimes a resistance to that. So that's sometimes procrastination showing up as something else. Another possibility is this task isn't absolutely essential. So sometimes we'll have a thought, we'll think, oh, that's a great idea, I'll do that. And we'll put it on our to-do list. And then we don't get around to it. So we transfer it onto the next day's to-do list. And then we don't get around to it. So we transfer it onto next day's to-do list. And if this has gone onto your to-do list for a good while, 2 or 3 weeks or something like that, and whatever it is that you haven't done hasn't negatively impacted your life in a massive way, I would question whether that task actually needs to be done. Was it a good idea at the time that actually you've discovered recently you don't actually need to do? Is it something to put on a back burner for later? Is it something that needs doing at all? And again, this is where you need to really trust your intuition. Was this just a whim, just a thought that flew through your head and you grabbed hold of it and thought, oh, yeah, that'd be a good idea, and noted it down? And actually, when you look at it again in the cold light of day, it's maybe not a great idea, but it's just sat on your to-do list. So therefore, it has become the thing that you're procrastinating about. So again, maybe it doesn't need to be done. Maybe it doesn't need to be done right now. So this brings me on to the next point. Is the timing right for this? So maybe it's something that doesn't need to be done right now in terms of your business or your lifestyle or whatever. Maybe this is just not the time for you to do it. So we all have our cycles, our rhythms in life. Some of us are morning people, some of us are evening people. And maybe you really like to do things first thing on a Monday morning to get them out of the way. Maybe you'd like to leave some stuff for a Friday afternoon so that you can get it ticked off your list and then relax for the weekend. So maybe the timing of the thing that you're trying to make yourself do just isn't right for today, for this morning, for now in general. So maybe just look at the timing of when you're trying to do the thing. And finally, the one that comes up quite a lot, it's good old-fashioned fear. And fear is something that can absolutely stop us in our tracks. And the fear can be for various different reasons. Maybe, again, it's something that I'm not very good at. Maybe I'm fearful of other people's thoughts about it. Maybe it could all go horribly wrong. And yeah, it could. But I think sometimes it's a case of we can look at the worst case scenario, maybe, and that might completely terrify us, or it may make us feel better, because if the worst case scenario isn't that, the world explodes, then maybe just get on and do it anyway, see what happens. And sometimes it's just useful to acknowledge that there is fear around this task and go, that's interesting. I'm a bit fearful about this. Maybe I've crossed everything off that list. No, it's not that. No, it's not timing. No, it's not a skill thing. It's just fear. And can I do this despite the fear? Because, we can do hard things. We can do things with fear present. And as long as we can be okay with that, then it may be that the next time we won't be quite so fearful about it. And the other thing to notice is any procrastination habits. So again, this sort of ties into the timings. Do you procrastinate more at certain times of the day, certain times of the week? Are there certain tasks which cause you to procrastinate more? And tracking those habits can be useful. That's as close to a strategy as I'm going to get. So, as I say, there's lots of reasons why we might procrastinate. Calling ourselves a procrastinator isn't helpful in the slightest. And questioning those procrastination habits can be really, really useful if we do it kindly. So I hope that's helped in some way. If there's anything at all you'd like to reach out to me and speak about, whether it's procrastination or another subject, please do let me know. I will put contact details for myself in the notes on this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to be notified when new videos are made available. And as I say, if there's anything that you want me to cover in a future video, then please do get in touch and I'm happy to do it. Until next time, bye for now.